tonight. All that coming up in the next few, but first things first, let's look at the highlights. Tonight, Kiambu governor is finally in police custody.
The governor was out of town.
He will be charged on Monday together with his wife. Plus, governors fault MPs over revenue. National Assembly directs it back to the governor.
We keep complaining, this is not happening, but we are not asking ourselves, why, if it is not happening, what can I do?
And saved from drowning by her two sons.
Kutoka hiyo siku hata saa hii naonaga kama ni hata hiyo kisho yangu sisikii kama iko fit.
But still waiting for help a year later. Also tonight,
kama uzai afadhali hata kile mjivurute tu chini na uzai ndugu zangu.
Cries of barren women in our special tonight, Cries of the Womb.
NTV Weekend Edition with Dennis Okari.
Many thanks for joining us in this news broadcast. David Agondoa is on sign language presenter. Kiambu Governor Ferdinand Waititu and his wife Susan Ndongo are tonight in police custody awaiting their charging in court tomorrow over graft allegations. The two were arrested after presenting themselves to the EACC. The arrest brings to a close a 2-day search for the pair.
2 days after the Director of Public Prosecutions and the EACC ordered his arrest, Kiambu Governor Ferdinand Waititu and his wife Susan Ndungu are now in police custody. The two had been asked to present themselves at Integrity Center yesterday, but were nowhere to be found, even when detectives visited their non-residences here in Nairobi, prompting some to believe they were intentionally hiding from the law enforcement, a notion that Waititu's lawyer says is far from the truth.
The governor was out of town, and there was a miscommunication in the first letter that came out from the DPP. It showed a different date. But yesterday, he came in quite late in the evening, and as you are aware, the directive from the CEO was that he reports here. And we thought it wise to come this morning, and that's why we were here by 8:30.
Aside from Waititu and his wife, the County Chief Officer for Roads, Engineer Luka Wahinya, was also arrested today after showing up at the EACC headquarters. Their arrests bring to 8 the number of people who will be charged in court tomorrow.
For us, we are here, the processing is happening, and we await now the whole system to take its course.
The suspects are expected to be charged in relation to abuse of office charges involving a tender worth 588 million shillings and the fraudulent acquisition of 221 million shillings worth of public property. According to the EACC, the case involves the procurement of a tender for the upgrading of various gravel roads to bituminous surface in Kiambu County, a tender that was awarded to Testimony Enterprises Limited. The governor and his wife are also accused of allegedly receiving 51.2 million shillings, the proceeds of the irregular tender awarded to Testimony Enterprises Limited for road works. Brenda Wanga, NTV.
Deputy President William Ruto has asked politicians to let agencies mandated with the fight against corruption in the country do their work. The DP, who was speaking in Kibiko, Kajiado County, said politicians had no role in the fight against corruption. Elsewhere, Amani National Congress leader Musalia Mudavadi also hit out at politicians who claim the war on graft was a witch hunt targeted at the Deputy President. Listen in.
Kama wewe sio shahidi, wewe sio mtu ya kusaidia kwa upelelezi ama uchunguzi, wewe sio wakili wa aina yoyote, wewe sio hakimu kule kotini. Sasa mambo ya ufisadi unaenda kutangaza kwa baraza, kwa mazishi, ikusaidie na nini? Wewe fanya kazi yako ambayo umepatiwa. Wacha hiyo kazi ya kupigana na ufisadi, kwa sababu ndio tumeamua kama serikali ya Jubilee itekelezwe na wale wenye ujuzi na wale wamepatiwa uwezo huo na katiba na sheria ya Kenya.
Contractual arrangements that the government entered into are a disaster for the Kenyan taxpayer. Whether you terminate the contract or you go with it, there's loss of money. The way it was signed off, it was done in a very skewed manner against the people of Kenya. Therefore, this fight must continue. And we want to tell those people who say that this is political, this is about succession. This is not about succession.
Governors facing graft-related charges will face an uphill task as they seek to clear their names by staying away from office until their trials are completed. This follows the July 24th ruling by Justice Mumbi Ngugi that has dealt a staggering blow to governors charged with economic crimes. Kiambu Governor Ferdinand Waititu stares at 2 years in the cold in the course of his tenure as he enters the dock tomorrow. NTV's Zainab Ismail seeks to put into perspective the dynamics of the future of governors facing graft and what role the deputies will play in the process.
As Kiambu Governor Ferdinand Waititu faces graft-related charges in court, the ruling by Justice Mumbi Ngugi last week that governors charged with economic crimes stay away from their offices for the duration of the trial will be weighing heavily on him.
What this judgment seeks to do, it makes it difficult for business of the office of the governor to go on as usual. The way to pave way within the judgment of Justice Mumbi Ngugi is to avoid that office.
The Kiambu governor, for instance, cannot access his office but can still coordinate the operations of the county. If he needs to be in the office, he should be accompanied by officers from either the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission or the Directorate of Public Prosecutions.
Trust is eroded the moment you are charged with theft of public resources. You cannot sit there, in all honesty, or you cannot waive the sanctity of Section 62, subsection 6, to undermine the overall philosophy of the Constitution, which means that people who are in charge of our public affairs be people who are not suspected to have breached the very Constitution they sought to defend.
This comes as Elgeyo Marakwet Senator Kipchumba Murkomen mocked the decision by the judiciary, saying the deputy governors will take advantage of the decision to plot ills against their bosses with an intent to take over.
Unless the governor is impeached, the deputy governor cannot take over. Unless the governor is dead, the deputy governor cannot take over. Unless the governor is incapacitated, the deputy governor does not take over. The mere fact that the governor has been arraigned in court and has been restricted from accessing his office does not mean that the deputy governor assumes the office or the roles of the governor.
The verdict by Justice Ngugi has been a shocker for county chiefs, coming at a time when the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission and the DCI is hunting down several governors, with some already in court. She was ruling on an application by Samburu Governor Moses Lenol Kulal, who wanted his bail terms reviewed after the trial court barred him from accessing his office for the duration of his trial.
It's a very timely judgment that will help us. This is what I've been pursuing and trying to ensure that those who are charged, who are public officers, once they are charged, they step aside.
Governors Okoth Obado and Sospito Jamong are among those charged with various criminal offences but released on bail and allowed to go back to their offices. Zainab Ismail, NTV.
Staying with matters of graft, East Africa Legislative Assembly MP Oburu Odinga has faulted the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission over claims he illegally acquired public land. Odinga claims he is being unfairly targeted because he is ODM leader Raila Odinga's elder brother. On Friday, the EACC repossessed Kenya Railways Corporation land after the High Court cancelled a title deed that was irregularly awarded to Odinga after filing a successful lawsuit against him.
So I acquired the plot like any other Kenyan acquires plots. I paid government. And if anything, if the government wanted it for any other purpose, then the government should have refunded me my money, the monies which I paid for the plot. I did not expect the Ethics and Anti-Corruption to come and start stating as if they have made the discovery of America, that because of 1/8 of an acre, which was regularly acquired through all the government agencies, and many other Kenyans acquired the land.
Let's now switch focus a little to a conversation on the overbearing burden of infertility on families. We'll start with some statistics. And Kenya is one of the countries in what is now known as the African infertility belt, in quotes, that stretches across Central Africa from Tanzania to the east to Gabon to the west. This region is characterized by barrenness amid plenty, to refer to the fact that infertility is often most prevalent where fertility rates are also high. Now, the stigma associated with infertility can be extreme in some countries. In most cases, a woman has to prove her womanhood through motherhood. Until then, she is a mother or nothing. Her place in marriage, precarious. In Kenya, 3 out of 10 women risk being divorced or separated due to fertility issues. And even though infertility affects both men and women, the women often bear the emotional stigma of a couple's infertility. NTV's Eunice Omolo sat down with women who opened up about the shame of infertility and shares their story in our special feature tonight, Cries of the Womb.
What nature paints as beautiful and desirable, to others it is anything but. These are sounds that some have not been lucky to hear from their own. The coming of new life is a source of joy, laughter and celebrations. To others, it represents the fading of the dream and desire that remains just that, and a cry of the womb.
Nimekaa kwa ndoa karibu miaka saizi, miaka inaenda, hii ni mwaka 10 na ngapi, 19. Na sasa changamoto yenye napitia, vile nikuja kuoleka, sikujua pia mimi inaweza fanana hivi. Lakini kukaa na kuishi, sasa nikaona inakuwa vigumu kupata mtoto. Sasa mzee naye sasa nafika wakati mzee mwenye nakaa na yeye anachukua kama mtu anadharau. Nilifika wakati sasa nikasema mimi dunia inaniacha. Mzee akitoka huko, huyu mtu hazai, huyu mtu anajazia choo. Nilikwambia uende umekatalia hapa. Nini unatakanga hapa? Sijui nitoto kwa hiyo nyumba mabati ndio uende.
Mary got married as a second wife. The first wife had already bore their husband 9 children. Her duty was to add the man's brood. She and her husband wanted 5. She fell short of the target. Indeed, she missed it all, and from that place of hope, she has fallen to the subject, an easy target of insults and derogatory remarks from the husband.
Nilichukua nguo akatupa nje, akaniambia nitoke. Nafanyanga nini hapa? Tena nikachukua nguo tena nikarudisha kwa nyumba. Lakini mimi ndani ya moyo wangu sina neno. Yote namwachia Mungu.
Dejected, abandoned and living as an internally displaced person in her own home with no access to the main family house or even the dignity of using the pit latrine.
Sababu kuna mwingine aliniambia wewe mtu uko tu kama sikwata. Hata huyu amekatalia kwa mimi ndio nisikwa. Amekatalia kwa mtu sikwata, siku moja atafanya nini? Ataenda. Hata kulima. Kuna hata choo saizi hata borafa akija sina choo. Hata tu njia, si mnaona mmepitia kwa wenyewe. Hata hiyo jikoni vile mnaiona hapa hivyo. Mmengoja mimi mwenyewe nitengeneze.
Mary forms part of statistics from Kenya Demographic Health Survey 2014 that showed 3 out of 10 women in Kenya are likely to be divorced or separated due to having no child.
Ai jameni. Mungu saidia.
After numerous unsuccessful visits to the hospitals, she was diagnosed with fibroids and has not been able to raise money to pay for the cost of treatment. Miles away, And in the neighboring Kakamega County, Matungu area, Mzepachi and his wife had lived for over 3 decades with no child.
Nilioa bibi wa kwanza, nikaishi naye miaka 34, sio kupata naye mtoto. Sasa hiyo mama akasema badala kwenda kutafuta bibi nyingine kutoka mbali wapi, wacha nikwende kuletea mko wangu, mkisikizana muishi na yeye. Kweli akaenda akaleta tukusikizana na yeye msichana huyo. Kweli tukazaa, Mungu akasaidia, tukapata watoto. Watoto wangapi? 3. Sasa waine ndiye alikufa naye utumbo.
As like many polygamous marriages, the script did not follow as planned.
Sasa kuanzia hapo kitu naitwa sasa imeleta shida. Walikuwa wasikizani na yeye sasa huyo. Imbalagha, tumesema imbalagha uchungu. Oh, sasa huyu nimeleta tena anataka kutahala hapa. Na yeye mtu alikuwa sasa kufa hivyo nini? Sasa maneno mengi imeingililia hapo.
Things went from simmer to boil, with death threats looming in the village.
Kuplan kutafuta watu waue familia yote yangu. Kweli walikuwa wanatengeza ni uwe watoto 2 na mimi na mama, watu 4. Lakini bahati mzuri sisi kitahuzurika. Mimi na mtoto. Ilikuwa tu fulati watu wakuja asubuhi tumetambaa tu hapo hivyo. Hiyo plani ilikuwa hivyo.
Research conducted by the Ministry of Health in conjunction with the United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, in 2007, the national fertility rate in Kenya stood at 11.9%, as the fertility rate in the country goes lower.
It has been increasing, the infertility problem. The fertility rates in our county and the country has been on the decline. And I think as a country now, our fertility rate is at about 3.74 children per woman, which is contrary to a few years back. At independence, our fertility actually was about 7 children.
At 55 years of age, Esther, not her real name, asked her back to do small house chores that ideally should have been handled by her grandchildren had she borne any children. Having had an ectopic pregnancy and later complications arising from not receiving proper treatment, she lost her first child and her ability to conceive.
Niliolewa 1980. Na 81 nikapata mimba. Ikafika miezi 2 unusu. Na nilikuwa ati ilikuwa ndani ya nje ya nini? Ya wakaenda Miasu wakafanya operation. Na hiyo operation ni kama wali nini? Sio naitwanga aje kufumamia yeye. Wenye walifanya operation ni kama wali nini hawakunifanya vizuri.
And there, her dream of ever bearing her own children vanished. The couple was left with the sole consultation they knew best. None of the visits bore any fruit.
Mzali jaribu, hata wakanga tulifika. Tukaenda. Si mkanga anakuambia tu kunywa hii dawa miezi ngapi utapata, ikaisha tu hivyo. Mtu anakuambia kucha na kuku. Alafu na pesa ya kuweka kwa dawa. Ndio. Sasa naweza uenda karibu na 1,000. Pengine uende na 500 na kuku. Pengine mwingine useme waache leta tu pesa ya kuweka kwa dawa, alafu ukipata ndio utanipea pesa fulani. Peanga tu madawa na nikakunywa. Ingine ya kuoka.
A decade later, after the ordeal, the marriage turned from bliss to unbearable. Constantly reminded of her inability to conceive, as her husband hatched a plan to ensure the continuity of his family name.
Kafika mahali ikakuwa ngumu. Kaoa bibi mwingine. Yeye sasa ako na watoto. Kuanzia hapo maisha ikakuwa mbaya. Tena bwana akakuja akakufa. Sasa watoto wa mke mwenza kaanza kunitusi. Tena hapa mali hakuna mali yenye utakawa. Kwa maana wewe una mtoto hapa. Vile walianza kunitusi nikaona nikatoka huko. Sasa brother yangu akanipea mahali pa kukaa. Kanipea kwa pesa kidogo nikafungua hapa business.
The second wife became the queen to the throne after giving birth to 7 children. Esther is often left out on many community developments meant for widows in the area just because the cry of a baby has never shot through the roof of her house.
Hata mkikaa tu kwa kikundi nini, wewe unaanga sauti. Kwa mfano tulikuwa wanakawa hii mbolea atisikia na mlekwa. Yenye wanakawanga na mahindi. Kuna mwingine aliniambia ati sasa huyu ataenda kufanyia nini, yeye ako navyo. Simpeni kweli hawakunipea. Mama kama mimi hatunanga kikundi. Najua hata sasa mkikaa tu hivyo tena ndio watawacheka zaidi. Ndio. Lakini kuna vikundi tu ya wamama tu tunakaa tu, lakini nakwambia ukikaa unaanga furaha.
She too has had to wade through the sharp jabs of stigma and taunting.
Si mimi sasa kukula tu na kulala. Sina nyingine ati natamani tena mtoto ama nini, hii miaka hainiruhusu. Tena bwana alikufa, sitaki bwana ya mtu. Mkikaa na watu, mtu anakuambia siki mtoto wangu sijua miaka ngapi, sijua kwa klasi fulani, na wewe umenyamaza tu. Unaona hiyo ni vibaya. Kama mko tu kwa kikundi, story mtu anapika tu kwa watoto wake, sijui mwingine ako university, sijui mwingine ako wapi, na wewe utapika story gani kweli? Unanyamaza tu. Sasa paka wale lazima nisikie uchungu.
An outcast and edged out from traditional cultural norms like naming of a child after her.
Hata mtu akikufa wewe jina yako inaenda tu hivyo, huwezi itwa.
Mtoto hizi itwa jina lako.
Huwezi itwa jina lako.
Na kwa sababu gani?
Si watasema pengine atakuwa kama wewe. Yaani hii ni kupilifu tu. Bali pengine anaweza kuwa yeye, maana yeye hana kichwa yoyote.
The World Health Organization defines infertility as a disease of the reproductive system defined by the failure to achieve clinical pregnancy after 12 months or more of regular and protected sexual intercourse. Sadly, even as the burden of infertility remains high, women still bear the brand of cause of childlessness in marriage more than men, and quickly used as an arrow from the quiver of insults.
Many communities, people even have names that they call people who don't have children. Me, I'm called, some people call me Lore. Lore is the barren woman. When I disagree with the people on Facebook, some people come into Facebook and say, that's why God has not blessed you with children, that's why you are barren. Like it's a big deal about not having children.
Global data shows that men account for 45% of infertility issues among couples.
Currently, some of the myths and challenges we are facing, especially at the county, in the region, and that which we have experienced most is people thinking that infertility is a problem of women and denoting it as such, because it really negates the gains we've made in trying to handle and fight this problem.
Infertility is caused by a number of issues among both men and women. Infertility could be due to fallopian tube damage or blockage that makes it difficult for an egg to be fertilized or for an embryo to travel to the uterus. Ovulation disorders that result in fewer or no eggs for fertilization. Uterine fibroids that are common in women over the age of 30 years. Impaired sperm production. Some other causes that will lead to infertility include poor nutrition, and treated sexually transmitted infections and safe abortions could also result to fertility issues, lifestyle diseases, substance and drug abuse for both men and women. Some studies have also shown that exposure to environmental pollutants have led to some of the cases witnessed at the moment.
It is a problem in Bungoma. We are seeing more and more couples coming to visit us in our clinics, in our hospitals, to seek remedy or to seek consultation or to seek help, which was not there before. And the other challenge we're also seeing, the younger generation, we are finding an increased younger generation, men of 20 to 25 years with infertility cases, and also women 28 to 30, 32 years also reporting with cases of infertility. So I think the trends are changing and it is catching up even with the younger people.
Kenya is still in the process of putting in place laws that will govern assisted reproductive process. Suba North Member of Parliament Millie Odhiambo introduced a bill in the National Assembly that seeks to address issues surrounding surrogacy, including donation of sperms and ova to childless couples. The bill has been tabled in Parliament for first reading.
The reasons that I brought it is because the High Court directed Parliament to come up with such a law, because the courts were being confronted with a lot of cases of people who after, especially on surrogacy, somebody agrees to carry the baby, but once they carry, they love the baby, so they don't want to give it. And biologically, you find sometimes that baby is not their baby biologically.
Couples with fertility issues have options and alternatives for adoption, surrogacy, or in vitro fertilization, among others. The latter is very costly for a majority, and the rest hampered by lack of clear framework to ensure its smooth flow.
Sometimes it's not even litigation that you find the surrogate mother is agreeable. But then, how our system is that you have to then adopt the child legally, which is wrong. And if the child is yours, why would I then have to go through a tedious adoption process? So in that case, like you see somebody like Honorable Joyce Lay, she had to go through a process of adopting her own son. And I think you remember even when she was sharing here in Parliament, she broke down because of how difficult it was for her. So we don't need to get women to go through all those kind of processes in order to have a child. It should be much easier. And also to encourage women to stop stealing babies.
In Kenya, the cost of IVF is estimated to be about 300,000 to 1 million Kenya shillings per IVF therapy, with up to about 350,000 per embryo transfer. Each couple is required to have an average of 3 cycles of treatment.
One of the reasons that the IVF cost is too high is because also there is non-regulation. Right now it is going on, but it's not regulated. And also the government facilities are not enabled by law to give IVF. So you see, if we pass the law, and I have said that we're actually encouraging every county government to set up a reproductive unit, and we'll be encouraging that every reproductive unit has an IVF center, because then it will help. It doesn't matter how few or how many the women or men are that are seeking. And one of the things that I discovered since I brought this bill is apparently so many people actually use assisted reproduction, but because of a stigma attached, people don't talk about it. In the last Parliament alone, I met several male MPs and female MPs who have had children through assisted reproduction, but they can't say it because of the stigma attached to it. So if even us as leaders, we feel stigmatized in talking about it, what about ordinary people? So it would help if then we bring it closer to people so that they are able to get that sort of assistance.
For now, these keep hiding from the darkest moments of their lives, with some hanging on to their faith and still hopeful that their wombs will be fruitful.
As a doctor, I'm concerned because when you have a quarter of the population not being able to conceive, then we are thinking about our future generation. And it's a problem we have to combat quite aggressively, and especially for women and men, it affects families by a big degree, and they are not able to be productive human beings in the society because they wonder what's wrong with me or what's wrong with my system.
Ikiwa Sara alipata mtoto na Jamie, lakini yani mwanamke kama uzai, afadhali hata kile mjivurute tu chini na uzai, ndugu zangu. Mjivurute tu na uzai.
Childlessness in African setup is always deemed as inability to ensure continuity of a generation or a family name. Many lack the knowledge on alternatives. A number cannot access the alternatives, while many more cannot afford the alternatives. As a result, they continue living in solitude due to stigma. Eunice Omolo, NTV, Bungoma County.
Well, that story by Eunice Omolo, very, very touching. Cries of the womb, that's the hashtag. Lots of responses coming in through Twitter. Just want to sample a few. And there's a gentleman here called Governor the Dreamer. at Governor the Dreamer says that research shows that a woman who has a history of depression is twice as likely to be subsequently experience infertility as a woman with no history of depression. Sad state of affairs. We have Leah Chege who says a sad story there. May God remember us women. Then there's at Inton says society should accept and support people who are infertile, whether men or women, and embrace the option of adoption. Migwe Wambugu says stigma is there because people say there is no stigma. Another one here from Queen's Calvin who says it is important for the Parliament to enact laws that will regulate the use of some drugs that lead or are causes to infertility. Mural Nyanganga says government facilities are not allowed by law to give IVF. I think a comment there from one of the things that came out from that story. We have Khalif Okech who says it's a very sad state of affairs for mothers who are barren, but they are not supposed to be neglected by their husbands or even their family members. And then there is another one here. It's quite a lot that are coming in. Lord Icy says, I'm watching how barren women are being mistreated by their husbands, and I literally feel so sad because as a woman's capabilities and personality cannot be derived from the ability to bear children. Some men are really, really, really cruel. I'm going to sample more of your views at the tail end of this bulletin. Remember, you can keep the conversation going on Twitter. That is at NTV Kenya. And the hashtag is Cries of the Womb. Coming up after the break. She was saved from drowning by her two sons, but she's still waiting for help a year later. Her story straight ahead.
AMG Realtors brings you Kikopey Ridge, 8th-acre parcels located just 5 minutes drive from Nairobi-Nakuru Highway. Accessible at the popular Kikopey stopover. Kikopey Ridge enjoys beautiful views of Lake Elementaita. Buy now at 350k and save 50,000 shillings. Installments price is 400,000 shillings. Book with 50k, balance in 4 months. Join us on our open day on 3rd August and this beautiful puppy might be yours. SMS Kikopey to 40299. AMG Realtors. Integrity.
Join Telkom today and share life on our expanded 4G network. Telkom, moving with you.
Baba amekuwa mgonjwa, amekonda, hata ana nguvu.
Nakata kwenda hospitali kwa nini? Si nilikwambia tuwezi jua kwa hakika kama ni TB. Mpaka uende hospitali upimwe. Na kama ni TB, unatibiwa kwa hospitali yote bila malipo. Tests unafanywa bila malipo. Madawa unapewa bila malipo. Utaambukiza kila mtu kwa hii nyumba.
Usingoje hadi dakika ya mwisho. Pimwa kwenye hospitali ya serikali. Matibabu inapatikana bila malipo. TB inakinga na tiba.
Hey, mister. Where you going?
Men clean their cars themselves. I'll also clean my own bike. I'm grown up now.
Then you'll need this. The most pleasant surprise for a mother is to see her child growing up. But I know as he learns to take more responsibility, he'll face more dirt, germs, and the risk of illness.
That's why you need strong Dettol protection. Because Dettol cleans and protects against 100 illness-causing germs.
Growing up needs Dettol protection.
Diamond Property Merchants welcomes you to Konza Greens, the only controlled residential development at Konza Techno City Buffer Zone, a gated community less than 2 kilometers from Konza SDR substation and adjacent to the standard gauge railway. Get an 8-acre plot for only 490,000 or an installment plan starting as low as 15,000 per month. Take advantage of this opportunity while the land is still affordable. Text the word Konza to 22002 or call us on 0722 850 000. Site visits this and every Saturday. Diamond Property Merchant, your home of strategic land investment.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom
for me and you.
I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They really saying, I love you. What a wonderful world.
Who wants to answer? Mary?
Mary has a toothache.
Oh, I see. And who knows why?
Because the tooth is too big.
No, it might be a hole in her tooth called a cavity. That's why I brush twice a day using Colgate. Imagine this is your tooth and these are food acids that cause cavities. Colgate with calcium and fluoride helps prevent cavities for maximum cavity protection. And now available in a 12-gram sachet for fresh breath. Only 15 shillings.
You in the pollution? Yes, you. Dry throat? Strepsils. Gal in the smoke with a raspy voice? Strepsils. Hello, in the downpour with a scratchy throat? Take Strepsils. Get soothing relief for any throat irritation. Strepsils with its medicinal ingredients will heal the harm done to your throat from external factors. Strepsils. Strepsils for a dry, itchy, raspy, scratchy throat.
Every day, history repeats itself. A scientist takes one small step. A genius finds a solution. A record is broken. A legend is born. Every day, history repeats itself here at Wood Creek School. Because we believe every child is a promise of something great. And it's our job to find the greatness within. So we welcome you to our open day on the 3rd and 4th of August from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. at our campus on Committee Road.
Well?
Thank you so much.
Can I buy a chocolate, please? It's for my mom. Happy birthday, Mom.
Thank you, Bella. There's a class and a half in everyone.
Out of your mind, Rodrigo! It was you who killed Papa! Just admit it, Mom!
Rodrigo, that's not true!
Your mom! Get away from her!
You only did that because you were defending me.
I didn't.
It was an accident,
It was an
Hernan.
accident!
Believe me!
Mom!
No!
It's true, I killed him!
Hernan!
AMG Realtors brings you Kikopey Ridge. 8th acre parcels located just 5 minutes drive from Nairobi-Nakuru Highway. Book with 50K, balance in 4 months. AMG Realtors. Integrity.
NTV Weekend Edition with Dennis Okari.
Welcome back. Now, it's been an excruciating wait for help for families displaced by mudslides in Mathioya, Murang'a County a year ago and putting up in a camp at the Gitugi Youth Polytechnic. Among the families camping there is Mary Omboy, rescued from drowning by her 2 young boys. The families say the government is yet to fulfill its promise to resettle them despite setting aside funds to alleviate the suffering of flood victims. Sharon Baranga has their story.
For more than a year, the Gitugi Youth Polytechnic, perched atop of the cascading hills in Murang'a, has been home to dozens of families uprooted from their homes a year ago when mudslides occasioned by heavy rains plowed into their villages and homes. Mary Wamboi was among the families who had taken temporary refuge in this relief camp that is now something of a permanent residence for them. Her home, tucked in the green foothills of Murang'a, caved in. The rivulet that had formed suddenly in the middle of her home, and the torrent of mud was slowly pulling her into the mighty Mathioya River. Her 2 boys, now aged 9 and 7, pulled her from the mud prison that she found herself in, saving her from the drowning in the sludge. She still bears the scars of that night.
Kutoka hiyo siku, hata saa hii, naonaga kama ni hata hiyo kichwa yangu sisikii kama iko fit. Nasikiaga kila hata ikiwa ni gari napita nasikia hata saa hii.
She had very little, but now she has even less. More than 40 other families lost everything, but one other family whose loved one was buried in the mud and died lost it all. Some of the families are still waiting on the government to fulfill its promise to resettle them.
Tumezoroteka sana na bado hatujapata usaidizi. Wale watu wa Red Cross walituambia watatujegea tukipata nafasi ya kujegewa. Lakini kwa vile mashamba yetu haiwezi jegeka, sisi hata watu wa Red Cross hawatu kusaidia kwa sababu hatuna pahali ya kujegewa.
Na waomba watufikirie zaidi kwa sababu tunaelekea mwaka ingine na sijui kutakaa aje.
The mudslides a year ago left some of them some invisible scars.
Juu ya mashida, hata bibi yangu alitoroka na watoto 8. Mashida ya chakula, yani una kazi, una watoto unalea, ulimi, kwa hivyo kukula ni shida.
The Kenya Red Cross helped put up temporary structures for those whose farms were not completely destroyed by the landslides. Sharon Baranga, NTV.
The chairman of the Council of Governors, Wycliffe Oparanya, has faulted the National Assembly for the stalemate of the Division of Revenue. Governor Oparanya hit out at MPs for being reluctant to increase the amount allocated to counties, yet the CDF kitty got an extra 5 billion shillings. Speaker Justin Muturi, however, echoed the president's rebuttal of the governors, saying they should first show prudent use of what they have before asking for more.
The governors are now turning the heat over the division of revenue back to the National Assembly. Chair of the Council of Governors and Kakamega Governor Wycliffe Oparanya accused the National Assembly of being used by the national government to frustrate devolution. His remarks coming just after the governors acted in defiance to the president's directive to the county chiefs to stop asking for more money, signaling an escalation of their push for a bigger share of the country's revenue.
Ilipofika bunge wakakataa, wakasema sisi tupate 310 billion. Senate ikasema tupate 335 billion. Na hiyo ndio tulikuwa tumesikizana na Senate.
The governors blamed the National Assembly for the collapse of mediation talks between the two houses of parliament on the shareable revenue. Parliament has until Wednesday to dialogue, even as the Supreme Court remains reluctant to intervene in the revenue dispute in the case filed by the Council of Governors.
Imefika mahali National Assembly na Senate hawasikizani. Walienda mediation mpaka saa hii.
But National Assembly Speaker Justin Muturi is throwing it back to the governors in remarks that almost echo those of the president.
What are you doing to ensure that the country raises that revenue? And what are you doing to ensure when that revenue is raised, it is also protected and goes to serve the purposes for which every government taxes its people? Because there's no government which has money. It is the people who raise the resources.
The president, who spoke after his long silence over the matter, slammed the governor's demand for more revenue, saying they had little to show for the billions allocated to them so far.
Kuna mtu mmoja peke yake anaunda pesa, na huyo ni mtu anaitwa Delaru na anaishi pale Nairobi. Sisi wengine wote ni tutoe jasho ndio tuone pesa.
While governors want the allocation increased to 335 billion shillings, a proposal backed by both the Senate and the Commission on Revenue Allocation, the National Assembly passed a revised version of the Division of Revenue Bill, allocating 316 billion shillings to the counties. Nuru Abdulaziz, NTV.
To a disturbing story, and we've been forced to blur the pictures because the contents of this video are too distressing. Now, the Directorate of Criminal Investigations has arrested a man who was captured on video brutally slashing a man for allegedly stealing a chicken. The incident happened in Shinyalu, Kakamega County. The victim succumbed to injuries. 3 other suspects have been arrested, including the owner of the chicken. They will be arraigned in court tomorrow to face murder charges. The other suspects have been identified as Evans Lichoti, Ashiundu, Agapitus Ngosi, and Ruben Shitambasi. Police tracked the four and arrested them after this video, captured by a spectator, went viral online, causing an uproar. The slain man had been pleading with his attackers to spare him. The DCI warned the public against taking the law into their own hands. Coming up after the break. Building bridges to a referendum or building walls? The latest cracks in the referendum debate. Next.
Now is your time to dance and rejoice.
It's time for the Great Gospel Crusade with Evangelist Daniel Kolenda and the ministry of Reinhard Bonke Nakuru.
That Jesus Christ is Lord to the glory of God the Father.
Come and receive your miracle from God at the 4-day power-packed crusade from Thursday 8th August to Sunday 11th August 2019. The venue is Afraha Stadium Open Grounds from 3 p.m. daily.
Come and be blessed.
Jesus is Lord.
The things you do. No, I cannot keep up with the things you do.
Tusonge mbele na Fiber Mobile. Get a fiber SIM card today and enjoy Tusonge Mbele bundles at affordable prices.
Melissa? Mom, it's Dad's birthday today. I'm giving him a party just like he gives me.
Nothing makes a mother more proud than seeing her child growing up. But I know that as she learns to care for others, she'll face even more germs and the risk of illnesses.
That's why you need strong Dettol protection. Just 1 cup of Dettol protects your home and family from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Growing up needs Dettol protection.
I help women find independence by training them in fish farming. It's tough on my back, joints, and can cause headaches. Panadol Extra relieves multiple types of pain. Panadol Extra, now with new Optizorb technology, to fight multiple tough pains with 3 times more pain-relieving medicine in the first 30 minutes when you need it most. Seeing them support themselves makes any pain worth it. If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Nation FM. More music and less talk. Nairobi 96.3, Mombasa 101.5, Meru 93.9, Nyeri 104.9, Eldoret 102.7, and Nakuru on 97.7. Follow us on social media on Facebook at Nation FM, Instagram at Nation FM, and on Twitter at Nation FM KE. Nation FM. More music and less talk.
Take notes and write down a summary of the important ideas as you read through your study material. Make sure that you understand the material well. Don't just read through the material and try to memorize everything.
We believe every child is a promise of something great. We welcome you to our open day on the 3rd and 4th of August from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. at our campus on Committee Road.
Making my family some nutritious porridge is a painstaking process. First, I have to find all the ingredients needed, and there are many. For vitamins, proteins, and minerals, I need cassava, sorghum, millet. You no longer need to go through all that to make nutritious porridge. All you need is NutriPro.
You don't have to go through the trouble of finding, measuring, and weighing all these vital ingredients. New NutriPro porridge flour comes fortified with 13 vitamins, proteins, and minerals. This means that you have more time to focus on what's important. giving your family the healthy start they deserve. NutriPro, bringing families together. From Tropical Brand.
Why are so many children absent? Children have become weaker. Children have not become weaker. Infection-causing germs have become stronger, making infections more severe. New Lifebuoy with Active Natural protects from today's stronger germs.
Discovered the world-famous Molfix and saw the difference. Let's see how absorbent Molfix is. Molfix, thanks to its ultra-absorbent particles, can keep more liquid than the other diaper brand, so you can use it comfortably all day long. All babies deserve a high-quality diaper. You should also try Molfix.
Sensitivity is a short, sharp pain that people experience when they have something hot or cold getting to the nerve of the tooth, causing that discomfort. If the sensitivity is left alone, it may get worse. Dentists recommend Sensodyne to their patients. It's able to get inside the tooth and calm the nerve of the tooth down, and the proof's in the results. It works.
Out of your mind, Rodrigo! It was you who killed Papa! Just admit it, Mom!
Rodrigo, that's not true!
Your mom! Get away from her!
You only did that because you were defending me.
I did!
It was an accident!
It was an accident!
Believe me!
Mom!
No!
It's true, I killed him!
Hernan!
AMG Realtors brings you Kikopey Ridge. 8-acre parcels located just 5 minutes drive from Nairobi-Nakuru Highway. Book with 50K, balance in 4 months. AMG Realtors. Integrity.
Welcome back to NTV Weekend Edition. Now, pressure is mounting on county assemblies to reject the Punguza Mzigo referendum bill proposed by the Third Way Alliance. The major political parties are going as far as threatening their members of county assembly against passing the bill, arguing it is not all-inclusive. But political analysts argue the united approach against the Punguza Mzigo bill by the established political class is a clear indication that it may have pulled the rug from under the Building Bridges initiative, which they believed should have been the originator of the push. NTV's political affairs reporter Kennedy Moridi with that story.
The Punguza Mzigo initiative under 2017 presidential candidate Ekuru Okari and his Third Way Alliance has caught many within the political circles by surprise. The little-known party maneuvered the ropes to garner the 1.2 million signatures and trigger a journey that is now in the hands of the 47 county assemblies. This has seemingly unsettled the political bigwigs.
Where was a consultation? And the public participation, which is a requirement of the Constitution itself.
Msisikie mambo mengine ati mwingine anasema ati hiyo punguza mzigo si punguza punda. Hiyo wakati yake bado hajakuja.
Wewe jaribu kupitisha hiyo mswada ikikuja hii bunge la Garissa, alafu wewe tutapambana na wewe.
Still struggling with the national debt, which is right now at about 6 trillion Kenya shillings.
Okot is already on a charm offensive in the county assemblies, calling on them to support the bill that offers goodies to MCAs and aims at reducing the cost of representation. The bill has wards as the basic units of development, meaning the MCA will be more empowered. The bill requires support from a minimum of 24 counties.
The bill in its current form is poison offered in a golden chalice.
If Ekuru Aukot would like to save that initiative, then he should start negotiating with the political class.
On Saturday, at a burial in Elgeyo Marakwet, ODM leader Raila Odinga resolved for the country to head into a referendum, but one driven by the Building Bridges initiative.
Wako karibu kumaliza. Wiki hii inakuja wanafanya Nairobi peke yake na wanamaliza. Alafu watatoa ripoti yao. Hiyo ripoti ikipendekeza tufanye marekebisho kidogo kwa katiba hapa na pale, hiyo sawa sawa, kuna shida.
It has now become very clear that the outcome of the BBI initiative have already been determined.
The Building Bridges initiative is a product of the March 9, 2018 handshake between President Uhuru Kenyatta and Odinga. BBI have been on a countrywide tour collecting views.
The Punguza Mizigo initiative is dead, and Kenyans will vote for Ongeza Mizigo.
The referendum debate may just present the departure point for the political class, with Raila Odinga insisting that the outcome of the Building Bridges team may result in the expanding of the executive, while William Ruto has been consistent in the fact that there was no need to expand the executive and have more power with the people. Kennedy Mureithi, NTV in Nairobi County.
From that story, let's take a short break. We'll be right back with more.
Do you know what makes my cooking fun? It's all in the preparation, the ingredients, the stage, and of course, having a partner who shares my passion for healthy cooking. Avena, the new premium vegetable cooking oil, contains omega-6 and 9 and is fortified with vitamins A and D. Lunch! Which means that together, we make healthy and tasty meals. Thanks, partner. New Avena Premium Vegetable Cooking Oil. Now available in all leading stores.
Je, maumivu ya kichwa na kukosesha amani? Kaluma Strong hutuliza maumivu ya kichwa, maumivu ya mwili na hata huondoa joto jingi mwilini. Kaluma Strong ina aspirin kama kiungo. Maumivu yakizidi, muone daktari.
Kujimotoa hapo na kujipondopondo.
Dakika moja tu na wewe.
Mimi nakwambia hii date mimi nitakutangulia. Mimi niende nikule, wewe utaenda kule baadaye. Utapata nimelipa. Is the thought that counts.
I'm done.
Hiyo makeup, naweza iongeza hivi kachumbari, kafilifili, naweza ifanyia kakitu juu. Kidogo tu tumayo like. Twende nikushow, naweza ongeza kaladha. Aka sasa ndio kachumbari.
Wow. Ulijulia wapi kufanya makeup?
Mambo ni YouTube.
Get 5 GB free YouTube when you buy the all-in-one monthly bundle. Dial *544# to choose your bundle. Mambo on YouTube.
Why are you filming, Mummy?
To help people stop getting sick. People think the weather makes them sick. Actually, it's the germs. Dettol protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs, including the cold and flu virus.
Rough and tough quality textured coating gives your walls a tough and beautiful finish. Available in over 6,000 shades, it hides surface imperfections. Call us on 0709 887 000 to place your order. Crown. If you like it, crown it.
Birthday party.
Birthday party. Birthday party.
Birthday party.
Are we not invited?
We have gifts.
Malaria.
Mommy, best.
Rat.
Oh, die.
Party.
Compared to laundry spray, Mortein Doom Power Guard kills disease-causing pests instantly. Mortein Doom Power Guard.
Germs with Jik. Kills 99.9% of germs on your kitchen surfaces, sponges, chopping boards, sink and fridge, and your bathroom taps, shower head, basin and surfaces. Just Jik it. Look out for our new improved packaging in store. Just Jik it.
Welcome back, and we just want to take a quick look at our news diary and some of the stories that we expect in the week. Kiambu Governor Ferdinand Waititu is expected to be arraigned tomorrow after surrendering to the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission officers today. Waititu is expected to face 3 charges: conflict of interest, dealing with the suspect property, and willful failure to comply with procurement laws and engaging in fraudulent procurement process and money laundering. Also, former Kerio Valley Development Authority boss David Kimosop, who was arrested on Friday at the JKIA, is expected to take plea at Milimani Law Courts tomorrow with several other suspects of the Aror and Kimwarer Dam scandal. Kimosop is facing charges of abuse of office, flouting procurement laws, facilitating irregular payments, among other charges that led to the loss of 19 billion Kenya shillings. Also, East African Community and Regional Development CS Aidan Mohammed is expected to appear before the Senate Committee on Devolution on Tuesday to appraise the committee on the circumstances that have made it difficult to pass on the ownership of the Lake Basin Mall in Kisumu, which was handed over to the Lake Basin Development Authority. Okay, time now for Instant Intel. Just the lighter part of our news. Travelers in Israel were left scratching their heads when a donkey wandered off to Ben Gurion Airport and went for a walk inside the facility. Security workers at the airport
Kwa ajili ya siha yako tukutane kwa mijadala kuhusu afya bora.
Kama jamii tuna mengi ya kujivunia katika kila nyanja. Maishani kuna mitindo, desturi na hali tofauti za kufaana na kufanana.
Mwisho wa wiki ni mikiki. Iwe viwanjani au majukwaani, burudani halikosekani. Na unapofurahia mikiki, upo udaku sasa. Ilishaeleweka na bado kitaendelea kueleweka.
Everyone has a desire. Some desire and talk.
My name is Morebi Bob. I'm a press technician.
I wanted to be a driver like him.
Kwa mzara iko mzuri, unakula vizuri, unaishi vizuri.
But some desire and make it a reality. Desiring is good, but getting the job done is better.
Sooner or later, utaona tu vijana wakikuja kuomba job.
Kuna miaka kama 6 sijalinda nafanya kazi.
The mortuary has exposed me to the world.
My Job on NTV.
This is going to be a long conversation.
The hard thing to understand is why, if the number of deaths is disputed, then the extent of the situation might also actually be disputed.
These are not stories that are being told by somebody who's not been on the ground.
I have never known of any single time the Kenyan media and the international media came together to tell a lie.
Hatuna kwanza maji na inasemekana ni handshake.
Kwa hiyo serikali ikisema hakuna mambo ya jaa, hiyo hatuelewi sana.
Wacha watu wa media waendelee kumweka deputy president katika headlines.
Is it a surprise? This is the opinion from some Kenyans.
Where there is slants and there is bias, the public will see it.
Is it media taking a position against the DP?
These are questions which the media must wrap its mind around and set agenda for this country.
Never happened.